The best craft distillery in America? 13th Colony Distillery, Georgia. Let's check it out, baby. All right, everyone, welcome back. So I have heard nothing, and I mean nothing but fantastic things about 13th Colony Distillery in Georgia. A lot of people have been hyping it up. I've heard their small batch rye and bourbon are great. That's what people have told me. My patrons, subscribers, people have emailed me, reached out, and I've heard that their double oak special release that came out back in October of 2022 was absolutely one of the best whiskeys on the market. Woo! That says a lot, folks. That says a lot. All right, so we're going to dive into 13th Colony Distillery. I want to give them a huge shout out. Number one, they sent me these bottles, and thank you again, 13th Colony, for sending these bottles over. They even autographed them. I really appreciate that. So you have the rye on my right, and then the bourbon, small batch bourbon on the left. So, and then in the middle, this is a sample from their October 2022 release, which is their infamous double oak bourbon. All right, so let's kind of get into 13th Colony Distillery. So when you think about 13th Colony Distillery, they've actually been around since 2009. So about 14 years. That's actually a long time, especially for a craft distillery. So I respect that. Based in Georgia, the master distiller, which I kind of love his background, Graham Arthur. So Graham is actually, by trade, he was actually originally a chef. So when you think of a chef, what do most chefs have in common? Fantastic nose and obviously a fantastic palate. They have to be able to taste what they're making. So Graham made the transition from food to whiskey. I like that too. So hey, I give him credit for making the transition again from food over to whiskey. But when you think about 13th Colony as a whole, I know they've won several different awards. Like I said, there's been a lot of hype about these different products on the market. I know you can find their whiskey, let's call it about 7 to 10 different states or different markets right now. They are expanding, but it's definitely growing as a whole. Enough talking, Judge. Let's dive into it. So I'm going to dive into the rye first. Cool? All right. Let's get into this real quick. All right. When I think about 13th Colony, so of course they make obviously a rye and then of course bourbon, but they also make other spirits as well. They make vodka as well as gin too. All right. Whew. What's going on with these Georgia-based distilleries? I mean, I've had a couple now. They've been really, really good. So I don't know, but I'm hearing this might be the best. We shall see. Oh my goodness. All right, so this rye, couple of things. Number one, this is aged about 4 years. This one comes in exactly, I think it is, right? Yep, 95 proof on the dot. So aged about 4 years, comes in at 95 proof. MSRP for the rye, $40. Nose is really nice. So the mash bill on this one, this is a true rye. 96% rye, 4% malted barley. And they do a really cool thing of, they actually, place it into the barrels, toasted French oak spiral. So kind of, give a little sweetness to that, to offset a little bit of that spiciness from the rye. But what am I getting on the nose? Oh man, this is nice. Number one, I get a ton, and I mean a ton of pepper. Even like some, almost like some minty notes as well. But then that toasted French oak spiral, you can definitely get like some sweet notes as well. You get like some cinnamon. You even get like a little bit of like maybe like some maple syrup as well. Some pecans. It's almost like that sweetness is offsetting the spiciness to become a very nice, well-rounded nose. This nose is not bad at all for $40. Now, hopefully, the palate and the finish is just as good as the nose. All right, my friends, here we go. Cheers, everybody. Ooh. That is interesting. Hold on, let me get a little bit more before I move on. Okay. Number one, everything in the nose matches the palate. The mint The pepper, that's all. It's offset, but in a good way. It's offset with the those toasted French oaks, those spirals that are inserted into the barrels. That's actually really, really nice. You get a ton of like the mint and the pepper, but it's offset by tons of like cinnamon, some maple syrup, and then also kind of lingering around in the back end a little bit of cinnamon as well. That, my friends, at $40, I have to give you a verdict. Now I'm gonna give you a verdict for each one of these. If I see this in the shop for $40, am I picking it up or am I leaving it on the shelf? For me only, that is a hell of a buy. It has a nice long finish, and if I was sipping this blind, I would actually almost think this is almost even closer to about 100 proof. That is pretty damn tasty. Wow. Craft distillery, huh? Woo! Goes to show, boy. Sometimes you always don't need these big, huge brands that we all think of. People out there are searching for Buffalo Trace this, Heaven Hill that. This right here, my friends, is mighty, mighty fine. All right, moving over to the bourbon. Woo! Now, you know me, I love rye, but I love bourbons just a little bit more traditionally. So the small batch bourbon, this too comes in at exactly same proof, 95 proof. This one's actually even cheaper. So this is a $35 bottle, 35 bucks. Age are about the same time, about 4 years. And the mash bill in this one, goodness gracious, can't even get to the mash bill because the nose is so damn nice. Jeez. The mash bill in this bad boy, 70% corn, 21% rye, and 9% malted barley. Wow. The nose on this is really, really nice. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. I get a little bit of everything on this one. I'm getting some toasted pecans. I'm getting some maple syrup, some vanilla, some cinnamon. Oh man, this is a really nice nose. Wow. Wow. Goodness gracious. This nose is actually even better than the rye, and I thought that was going to be really hard to do, honestly. This is really nice on the nose. All right, friends, real quick, 3 quick, easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know, have you ever tried any of 13th Colony Distillery's different products and what you thought of them? Last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right, here we go. Cheers, everybody. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Houston, we have a problem. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have a problem. Let me get one more little sip. Wow. This sip's exactly about 95 proof, where this one was almost closer to 100, even though it was 95 proof. This one, the bourbon, sips right at 95 proof. When I say everything, I mean everything. Transfers from the nose to the palate. This to me, and everything I said in the nose before, the maple syrup, a little bit of the cinnamon, the caramel, the toasted pecan notes, everything from the nose transfers to the palate. This reminds me of another bourbon that many of us love, and also at the exact same price point. Very oak forward too, I should say on this one, very oak forward. This reminds me of, they could almost be like cousins. This reminds me of Cooper's Craft, the 100 proof. It really does. That, my friends, the judgment is in again. Goodness gracious. That is flat out ridiculous. At $35, oh my goodness. I want to pour some more, but I have to leave some room for this bad boy here, for the double oaked. Now we are on to the double oak. So we had 2 winners. Now I understand why these won so many different awards. But now we're on to the infamous double oak. So I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this double oak bourbon. Everything I've heard from friends, from patrons, from subscribers, everyone's saying that this is straight up legit. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this one. So the bourbon, the double oak bourbon, obviously same mash bill. Now what's different about this one is that, of course, it's aged longer. So this one is aged 9 years. Same mash bill, aged 9 years. What's unique about this one, though, is that it spends the last 2 years in the second barrel, the double oak barrel. The last 2 years. Most double oak products spend 3 months, maybe 6 months. I've even seen up to 9 months. I've never seen 2 years in the second barrel. That is a long ass time. Oh man. So I will say the double oak barrel, this is like truly like their limited release. So this only comes out typically every fall. The first release, which is this one here, came out in October of 2022, and the second release is supposed to be coming out in fall of this year. So probably about October of 2023. This one, I will say, comes in at exactly 135.3 proof. Wow, that is high. 135.3 proof. And the MSRP on this one now, so this one's a little bit more expensive because obviously these only age 4 years. That's the reason why they were $35 and $40 respectively. This one's about $105. All right. Oh man, this is nice. So one thing I like about their double oaked is they finish it with a toasted maple wood, which is pretty cool. Kind of changing up a little bit. So this nose is extremely, as you would imagine, very oak forward. Extremely oaky. Spicy too. A little bit of maple syrup. Definitely almost like some notes like some leather. A little peppery. Wow, this nose is really, really nice. It's just calling me Judge. Sit me now. All right, here we go. Cheers, everybody. Woo! Oh my goodness. Wow. So, a couple things. I need to come back. Hold on. Number one, that is a long finish. And even though it's 135.3 proof, you think it'll be a knockout. It's definitely long, but it's not knockout. That is scary to be 135.3. It actually sips closer to like maybe even like 115, 120. A word of caution to everyone out there. Take your time when you're sipping this bad boy. Goodness gracious. That does not sip like 135.3 proof. Definitely closer to 115, 120. Oh my goodness. Let me get a little bit more. Oh man. So there is something different in the palate and the finish that was not in the nose. In the palate and the finish, I got a lot more of like blackberries, maybe even like some notes of like some raisin notes as well in the back of it. And obviously, of course, everything that was in the nose also came through in addition. Tons, and I mean tons of oak. So the question is, Judge, is this a buy? Is it even worth the hunt when I see it in October? The verdict is in, folks. That is 3 gavel good. Oh my goodness. Here we go. I'm pouring more of this right now. This is so good. This by far, if I would have had this, let's just call it in 2022, easily would have been in my top 3. This is flat out, and I mean flat out ridiculous. It's so good that I had a little sip of this bad boy right when I first got it from 13th Colony. Thank you again, by the way, 13th Colony. I had to enlist in some of my different friends, my patrons, my buddies out there, one of my good friends, and a patron as well, hunted it down for me and got me a bottle that I was able to buy on my own from him on the side. So I too now have my 13th Colony cast strength double oak bourbon. And as they say in the whiskey world, hallelujah. It was so good. I had to find it like stat, and I found it. Folks, if you see this, it is hands down one of the best whiskeys on the market. Oh my goodness. As they say in this courtroom, and always, peace, cheers, and most important, salute, my friends.